testing how we need
whose
them.
eyesight is worse. Liette was offering to share. I'm like, I have my contacts and I'm working at it. Liette Vasseur, our next presenter, is UNESCO Chair here at Brock, also a member of Biological Sciences. All yours.
Thanks. Yes, so I'm UNESCO Chair in Community Sustainability from local to global. The chair started in 2014. It's housed in big part in ESRC, but I'm also a biologist by training who has been moving quite a lot in the social sciences, especially in the past few years. And so I'm a little bit all over the place. Just to make sure, my office is in the Mackenzie Champ, so the building that is the toughest one to figure out where we are. In F228, the reason I say that is because in many places on the website, they mix up my place, so that's the reason. So my research is highly transdisciplinary, and you'll see a little bit why in a few seconds. I'm also in the Women and Gender Studies program, so you'll see that I do a lot of work in gender issues. And my work is mainly now with farmers and communities. It's mainly that, and communities, rural communities and coastal communities. These are the communities that I'm working the most with right now. Probably in part because I grew up on a farm in Quebec. And in fact, it's funny because in my case, I was determined to go in biology at the age of 14. And I remember all the time my mom looked at me and said, "Tu vas pas travailler avec des bébites." For those who are French, you will know what it means. In English, it means you're not going to work with bugs. So she was very disgusted by that. And my father was really disappointed because he thought that I would be a lawyer. So, so that didn't work very well. Family with a daughter who is now working in a vet clinic. 2 cats at home that are keeping us pretty busy. Very high personalities. And what is nice with my office is we have a lot of wildlife on campus. And be careful, because in the pond inlet this summer, we had a skunk. And I know that it sprayed somebody at one point because it really smelled bad. So that's another issue. We have a little advantage. We are in the Biosphere Reserve. In fact, part of this building is directly in the core of the Biosphere Reserve, which makes it very interesting to be able to do a lot of the activities with the students and involving the students. I tend to do that quite a lot. Going from a field class to this is a training in sustainable development that was done last year at Brock. So a lot of activities. Be involved, and I'll pass, I brought with me something that may probably interest some of you, in fact. Youth, for me, it's important because it's the leaders of tomorrow. This is a group, these are a young professional academy that we have with the Commission on Ecosystem Management at IUCN, so the International Union for Conservation of Nature. The one that is, in fact, the bottom there is now working Indigenous Affairs at the National Capital Commission in Ottawa, and is quite a funny character. This is one of our students. She's in the Social Justice Master Program, but she's a young, she's part of the Young Advisory Group of the Canadian Commission for UNESCO. And every year have a poetry contest that is coming again this year. And this year the theme will be Indigenous culture and languages, because next year I'm always in the theme of the International Year, and the International Year of Indigenous Languages is next year. So everybody is invited to write poems, okay? That's one thing. And I'm also quite involved with what we call VROC, Virtual Researcher on Call. So doing coast to coast to coast teaching with high school. My research is, and I don't know why these pictures are going slowly, but anyway, my research is, as I said, community sustainability, work here in Niagara, mostly with vineyards and organic farmers. We just announced, in fact, 10 days ago, one of the new projects. Also in China. In China, we work with tea plantations. This is what you have here, as well as different brassica, so cabbage, kale, all that, and especially a little devil called diamondback moth, which is one of the most, I would say, damaging pests of these kind of crops. Resistant, was the first species resistant to DDT, BT, so we're trying to find environmentally sustainable type of pest management in this case. And Ecuador, where we're working with the native community, San Juan, in the Chimborazo, which is having more and more challenges due to climate change. Starting also very soon in Costa Rica, and next week on Monday I'm leaving for Mexico. Climate change is the other component that is related. You can already saw. We are using especially ecosystem-based management and ecosystem-based adaptation, which is a very interdisciplinary system that allows to look at more than just putting infrastructure and big protection walls, for example, and things like that. Especially for extreme event. This is St. Levy after the December 2010 storm, or a few houses went in the St. Lawrence. My involvement is highly international because of the UNESCO Chair, so I'm currently the president of the Canadian Commission for UNESCO, as well as the vice chair for North America for the Commission on Ecosystem Management at IUCN, where I lead also the ecosystem governance group. So this is our meeting last week in Amman, Jordan. And this is the treasury at the Petra. Petra is one of the seven wonder of the world, New World, which was quite amazing. And here in the Niagara Bog, we do biodiversity plots. We invite people, ESRC people, for example, to do a lot of different things that works for us. The last word I can say, I have a pamphlet of the Commission for Ecosystem Management. We are recruiting all the time new members from all different disciplines, and especially young professionals. We have already a couple of our young professionals from previous cohort that have become member of the Commission. And we need more because we have only 13% of our members being young, so we need more. Thank you.